Hi, I'm Greg Beron with United Home Audio, sitting here with Jeremy Bryan, CEO of MBL North America, and we're going to walk you through the new MBL C41 Network player. So, Jeremy, can you give us a rundown on what it is you wanted to do here, cost, those kinds of things?
Yeah, so this is our first, we call it a network player. It's in our entry-level line, which is called the Cadenza line, and he has a lot of innovative and unique features to the marketplace. It's all based around this display, which has some soft keys here. So it has a plethora of digital inputs, so it can function as a standalone DAC like any conventional DAC. It has AES, EBU, and SPDIF, even Toslink digital inputs, also USB. Which is how we've been using it here, connecting to my laptop directly on the USB input. So that's a direct connect. That wouldn't be a network type setup, but you have to toggle through all of your different inputs. So LAN is Ethernet connector on the back, so that will allow you to connect it to your home network. And then once you're on your home network, it is a Roon ready endpoint, so it's been certified by Roon. So if you're in the Roon ecosystem, you don't need anything else. You just connect it to your network, and the Roon core that you're using will find the device. Even the logo, the shape of the device comes up on the Roon screen, and you can use the Roon. We have a core volume control. This is one of the unique features here. So there are many DAA converters that are called network DACs or streaming DACs that have volume controls. And most volume controls are in the digital domain, and they are, in order to reduce the output level, they're decreasing the voltage by cutting off bits of the actual data stream. So when you're turning the volume down on some competitors' volume control DACs, you're actually cutting the resolution is what you're doing to lower the volume. So we don't do that here. We're doing it very differently. The full word, the data stream is not touched at all until after it has gone through the complete digital to analog conversion process, the oversampling filters, and then there's a modulator right at the analog output stage, and we're changing the voltage in the modulator right when it's going to analog stage. So that gives us the ability to have a full-scale word, the complete data stream at any level, at zero, at the top level, full-scale resolution. So you can listen at very low levels and still have a full range sound. That's called the MBL core volume control. And then if you're working in a network situation like a Roon setup, those apps have volume control sliders built into them. And if you're working them through the software, they're working as we talked about, truncating the word to lower the volume. But we have a device control mode, it's called. So when Roon sees the C41, Roon has been told that the volume slider on the software app is only telling the C41 where to set the volume. So you're not using the volume control of the Roon app, but you are able to control the volume from the Roon app, and it will synchronize. So if you have 16, 18, whatever number on your Roon app, it will be exactly the same on the MBL.
And that all happens automatically?
Yes, sir. Yeah, once it's connected, they do a handshake, and then he tells Roon, listen, I'm controlling the volume, but you gotta give me instructions.
Gotcha. So in other words, you pay for the Roon subscription, and then at that point, once you have that, this will automatically connect to it and everything is...
Yeah, and it's been certified by Roon, so we worked with Roon.
So that's an important point. Yeah. I mean, it's actually Roon certified.
Yeah, so we worked with Roon in the development of all these features, and that's part of the reason that it takes a long time for us to get products out, because we don't rush, we're not early adopters of technology. We wait and see how the dust settles, and then we implement it in our unique MBL way.
Well, MBL's been around for quite some time.
That's right.
Must be a reason.
Yeah. Also with the D-to-A converter has some unique features we call True Peak technology. You notice a lot of contemporary recordings are extremely compressed,
Yeah.
and they're very, very, very loud sounding initially. If the DA converters can clip, so if you're sending too much, if the signal is too hot, just like it would be in the analog format, you're going to get macro dynamic compression, you're going to get distortions and all kinds of things. So the DA converter can clip. They're called intersample overloads, and they can happen thousands of times in a track. So this is constantly stressing the DA converter, and the DA converter has his resolution and his bit depth that he can work in, and then it truncates, right? So we've developed a proprietary system that gives several dBs of overhead to the DA converter so that it will not clip, even if it's fed these intersample overloads.
Right.
So we call that MBL True Peak technology, or intersample overload protection. That's something that's unique to MBL.
What is the peak resolution?
Yeah, so he's capable of up to 24 bits, 192 kilohertz, and also DSD64, which is the native format for SACD. So all the digital inputs can play any of those digital formats.
Right.
You can also stream once you're on a network, or your local network, from your iPhone. You can stream to the C41 through the network, bit perfect. So same quality as coming from any other high-end source.
So the customer basically connects it to his network, and then at that point he can sit there on his phone and do whatever he wants to do.
Correct.
And it'll be bit perfect.
Yeah, so if a friend comes over and they want to hear something that's on their phone, wirelessly you can connect it, and it's bit true. Even the Toslink input, so Toslink is on like Comcast cable boxes and Sony TVs and things like that, so even that is bit perfect.
Could you connect it to a TV?
Sure, why not?
Well,
Yeah.
if you want better sounding TV, here's your apparatus.
Yeah. So another function in the network capabilities, if you're not in the Rune ecosystem, there's other ways that you can send data from different player softwares to the device over the UPnP or DLNA protocol. These are sort of computer network language data transfer conversations that the devices have on the network. So certain players like Audiovana or JRiver Media Center or others, they're able to send out their data over this UPnP or DLNA format. So as long as they're on the same network that the C41 is on, then you can send data from other player apps over the network to this device, and he'll interpret and play them back. And same thing, you have this device volume control also with those apps, where you can adjust the volume with your buttons on your iPhone, but it's actually telling the C41 where to set the volume, and the displays will synchronize so you know exactly where you are.
So just so I understand this, if it's connected to an Ethernet, okay, on the network, at that point, does it find the files you want to play?
No, whatever player system you're using would control that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like we're using Audiovana here, so
Well,
we would set the output once the player software is on the network, he sees all the devices that he can talk to.
Okay.
If you have a TV, a Comcast, whatever, or a Sony TV, or an Apple TV device, or a NVIDIA Shield, those all come up as UPnP type devices. That's kind of the language that machines talk to each other with.
Okay, so, me, I'm an analog guy. I mean, that's why I'm asking these questions here. But, okay, so it's connected. I have a computer in the other room, and on the computer, there's a bunch of music files. Okay, so I would see that computer. I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah, over this language protocol over the network. So it's a network player. It's not a streamer. It's not a streamer. We have to be careful. There's a distinction there. Streamer is a device that pulls data from the internet, wherever a streaming service or HD tracks or wherever you're getting things from. A streamer is pulling it onto your local network from outside world.
Oh, so I think I'm looking at this backwards. In other words, I have a laptop.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to play music off the laptop.
Yeah.
It's on my network.
Yeah.
The C41's on my network.
Yes.
So at that point on my laptop, I see the C41.
Whichever player software you're using will have you can scan the network and you tell it output to the USB output, the MBL, USB link. If you're direct connecting it on the USB, you would select that one. But once you're in the player software, they all have the ability to show you. They're also network devices now, so they can see all the devices that are on that local area network. And it will see this, it'll recognize the C41 as one of those devices. So you'll just select the output to the C41 and then they communicate from there.
And it's all bit perfect over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Over
the UPnP, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even the wireless from the phone is bit perfect.
Even the wireless, how about that?
Yeah, but it's not a wireless device. So you're not streaming directly to this device, you're streaming over your local network to this device.
Through whatever kind of software you're programming.
Well, it's AirPlay, Apple AirPlay and SharePort will work directly from that's the player software. You don't have to use another one.
So let's say a customer has Cobas or they got Tidal or whatever the case is.
Sure.
They would go through that app and then see the player.
Right.
And
so those are apps that we're finalizing right now. We're a relatively small company in the larger world of home electronics. So we kind of get bumped to the bottom of the line when you're getting certifications from a big company like Tidal or Cobas. So it takes a little bit of time, and we're still finalizing that. But the device has all of the Cadenza line and the Noble line devices all have an SD card reader on the back panel. So firmware updates can be sent via email or downloaded from the MBL website, and you can store them on a SD flash card, like a computer. I mean, like a camera, storage card, SD card, and you just put it inside, and it updates itself. It can also do live updates over the network. You have the ability to switch that on or off, and then MBL can constantly be sending updates. You don't even have to touch it.
Well, that sounds like a lot of, it's not going to become obsolete soon.
Oh, no. So the streaming apps, word about that. So right now you have to use a player to stream through. So like Audiorvana can stream from the internet, JRiver can stream from the internet, Rune can stream from the internet. So you would, at the moment, you have to use one of those devices to pull the Tidal data, to pull the Cobas data. But shortly, we will have the Connect apps available on the C41. Tidal Connect, Spotify Connect, actually we're gonna offer some internet radio channels and Cobas. So then, at that point, you will be able to just open your Tidal app on whatever device and tell Tidal what you want to do, and then he'll talk to the C41. And same thing, the device control with the volume will be synchronized, and the function will happen here, but you can control it by the one app that you're using to select your music.
Gotcha. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the analog section in here. Once it's done its decoding of bits, is it similar to an MBL preamp, or what are we looking at?
Yeah. I mean, the analog output stage is just a high quality analog output stage as we have in other devices. It's not a preamp. It doesn't have any analog inputs.
Right.
This core volume control is only going to function from a digital based system. So any of the digital inputs on board or through the local network, those are going to be capable of being controlled by the core volume. If you're using it with a conventional analog preamp, it will work fine, and all of the functions will work the same. You wouldn't be using the core volume control here. You would use the volume control on your analog preamp.
So in other
So
words,
when you put it, you would set this at a certain setting if you're using it with an outboard preamp, and then it's just like a line level device.
Okay.
Like a line level DAC, yeah.
Right. And I guess everyone's probably had some kind of a passive device before with volume control, and a lot of times they really don't have the guts to give you the dynamics that you would want. But from what we've done the Florida Audio Expo this weekend, and we certainly had a complete digital system here by feeding the MBL 9011 amps directly off of the C41 with volume control.
Correct.
And there certainly was enough guts.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For any regular voltage sensitive, put sensitivity amplifier, it should have plenty of dynamic range.
And about when do you think that the Connect will be?
I'm told any day.
Any day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't make the decisions at that level, but that's what I'm told. And obviously, we want to get it as fast as possible because these are features that the customers want to be able to use.
And at only $11,100.
Yeah, this is
I mean, you're
serious
getting
value.
you're getting the great DAC plus the ability to not even have a preamp if you're an all digital guy.
Yep.
And so you kill two birds with one stone.
Correct. And the preamp is where most of the noise in the system comes from, and the color and the distortions, and you're taking out another chassis and a bunch of electronics and a power cord and an interconnect. So that's where a lot of the noise in the systems come from. So one of the things that's the measurements on this device are extremely wide bandwidth, extremely wide dynamic range. You couldn't hear a noise floor of anything. Just blackness. The music just comes out of a completely dark background. And this it does perceptibly give you a more three-dimensional sound, that because the noise floor is so low and the dynamic range is so high that it gives you a much more of a dimensional quality, less of a flat quality like most D-Day converters have.
Gotcha.
That's always the kind of one of the pings against digital versus analog is it's flat sounding. But this really does have dimensionality to it.
Well, guys, I hope that answers a lot of your questions, because I know I've been fielding a lot of them these days. Seems like there's a real buzz going on for this C41.
Yeah, the C41 was just given Product of the Year for the DAC category from the Absolute Sound, and also a Golden Ear Award, and it's in the Editor's Choice this issue. Yeah,
Hey,
so
triple award winner.
very well heralded. And Mr. Fallon compared it to a 8 or 10 times more expensive competitor, and liked it very much.
Read the review. The reviews in the Absolute Sound. Chances are that can fill in some of the details that maybe you're interested in and Jeremy and I didn't cover. But what I was just trying to do is give everybody a general overview of how it works. Give me a call at United Home Audio. I'll be happy to answer any questions and find out whatever you may need. So thank you, Jeremy.
Sure, thanks, Greg.
Appreciate it.
All right.